Good morning to all. Yesterday we have completed the physical quantity and the units. Today we will learn about the uh, types of the physical quantities. So there are two types of the physical quantities. Number one, the fundamental or the basic physical quantity, and the second one is the derived physical quantity. So what is the fundamental physical quantity? The fundamental physical quantity which is independent of other physical quantity or are usually not defined in terms of other physical quantities are called fundamental physical quantity, and the unit in which these quantities are being measured are fundamental units. So it means these fundamental physical quantities are independent physical quantities. So these are the seven fundamental physical quantities, and their units. There are seven fundamental units also. So these fundamental or the basic physical quantities can be uh, understand understood as under or there are seven physical quantities. So these are given in the following table. So you can see here that number one is mass, and the unit of this fundamental physical quantity mass is kilogram, and second is length, that is measured in meter, and this symbol of the meter is m, and the third one is time, which is measured in second, and the symbol of second is small s, and the fourth one is electric current, that is measured in ampere, and the symbol of the ampere is capital A, and the fifth fundamental quantity is the thermodynamic temperature, and the temperature which is measured in Kelvin, and the symbol of Kelvin is K, and the sixth fundamental quantity is luminous intensity, and it is measured in candela, and the symbol of the candela is CD, and the seventh and last is amount of substance, and the unit is mole, MOLE, and the symbol of mole is MOL. So these are the uh, seven fundamental quantities. So the next or the second is derived physical quantity, but before the derived physical quantity, I would like to explain about the supplementary physical quantities, because the supplementary physical quantities also classified in the category of the fundamental physical quantities, because these supplementary physical quantities are not in fundamental physical quantity, in the list of fundamental physical quantity. Basically the fundamental physical quantities are the seven physical fundamental quantity or the physical quantity, but these are the supplementary which is mm, uh, and actually in classified in the category of the fundamental physical quantities. So these are the two supplementary physical quantity which is the plane angle and the solid angle. So the plane angle is measured in radian, and the symbol of the radian is RAD, rad, and the solid angle is the steradian, and the symbol of this steradian is SR. Now the second type or of the physical quantity is the derived physical quantity. So the derived physical quantities and the derived units are the quantities which is depends on these fundamental or the basic physical quantity. So all the physical quantities which can be expressed as a combination or a repetition of the fundamental or the base physical quantities are called derived physical quantities, and the combination of the base units in which these derived physical quantities are being measured are called derived units. So hence all the quantities except the fundamental and the supplementary physical quantities are called derived physical quantities. So we can say these derived physical quantities are depends on the fundamental physical quantity. It means these derived physical quantity can be derived from the fundamental physical quantity. So we can understand that the derived physical quantity is, for an example, this is area, volume, velocity, and acceleration, or many more. But we if we try to understand how these derived physical quantities is derived, so we are taking a small example of area. That area, we know that the area is equal to length and width, and the volume is equal to length into width into height. So these length, width, and height all are length in the terms of fundamental physical quantity and measured in meter. So uh, I would like to explain here also that any of the physical quantity which is measured in meter is a and which is a fundamental physical quantity is length. It means the length is the fundamental physical quantity which is measured in meter, like radius, diameter, diagonal, like these quantities. So many more quantities, side. So these are the quantities which are the quantities which can be termed as a physical quantity length. So these are measured in meter. So unit of the volume, if we see the unit of the volume, that is meter into meter into meter is equal to meter cube, because the volume is equal to length into width into height. So length is measured in meter, width is measured in meter, height is also measured in meter. So meter into meter is equal to meter cube. So this meter cube is a derived unit, and the volume is a derived physical quantity which depends on length, width which is also length, and the height which is also length. And these are the fundamental physical quantities, and the this volume is derived physical quantity. So we again, if we take another example, so that is the speed of an object. So if we think about the speed of an object, the speed is simply a distance upon time, or we can say distance covered by a object divided by the time taken by an object. So this distance covered is again length, and divided by time. So the length is fundamental quantity here, and the time is also fundamental quantity. So this speed is the combination, or we can say depends upon length and the time. So unit of the speed is meter per second, because length is distance is measured in meter, and the time is measured in second. So the this unit of the speed is measured meter per second, and the meter per second is a derived unit. So this, in the similar fashion or in a similar manner, we can derive the physical number of derived physical quantity. So this is all about the fundamental and the derived units. Okay, thank you.